must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
When President Uhuru Kenyatta thought of a nation, a peaceful nation, a united nation called Kenya, he scored highly to the international community and to Kenyans. When the former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga thought of a nation called Kenya, he scored highly. It is that redemption strategy, the coming together of opposition and the government, the president and the former opposition leader, or the opposition leader of Kenya, that has made Kenya peaceful, united, working together to date. It is therefore very important for the people of Kenya to realize that the most important thing that every African looks at when talking about Kenya is peace. But what kills Kenya is tribal enclaves, bad elections, bad electoral mechanisms, bad political morals. People lack political morals. People lack good electoral mechanisms. People think of tribes. It is not the poor, it is not the rich, it is not the destiny, it is not the hustler nation. No. Those have been there for many times, for many years. But what has killed the country is that those one key thing, elections. If Kenya can sort out its electoral mechanism, that a winning candidate embraces a losing candidate, and a losing candidate embraces a winning candidate. You work together as a nation, work together as people of Kenya. That's the day that Kenya will rise and become a very good country, beyond what it is today. But the moment we go back to our tribal enclaves, we poison the politics. We play Machiavellian politics of backstabbing, intrigue, manipulation, machinations that flow in the Kenyan political arena. It's the moment that we destroy the same nation that needs that unity. President Uhuru Kenyatta, therefore, don't give up. Former Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, don't give up on unity or purpose. Always strive to unite, leave a legacy of a united Kenya. That is the price you will give to the generations, the grandchildren, to your generations that will come. You might not be there to see the price that you have, the foundation you have laid. But once you leave that legacy of a united, peaceful Kenya, both of you and many other leaders in Kenya should not give up in search for that unity. I thank you very much. Those are my views. I believe a redemption strategy, and I repeat, a redemption strategy, the healing, reconciliation, reparation, accountability, truth-telling, Those are the values of the handshake, a united Kenya with capacity to accommodate all. Thank you. Thank you, listeners. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to this exclusive show of Frontline Security, an investigative show of our television station. Frontline Security deals with matters that of national importance, security importance, matters that touch nations across the globe, in Africa, in East Africa, and in Kenya. We talk about issues that are security related. We talk about foreign sponsored, instigated regime change apparatus against our states. We talk about those who are paid dark forces of George Soros, Ford Foundation, Vanguard Africa, Kofi Annan Foundation, several agencies in the United States that sponsor both local conflicts back in their homes, for the case of George Soros, and outside America for the same organizations of Open Society Foundation that is spread all over this planet. Viewers of this exclusive expose that I'm going to table, it will be in two parts. You remember sometime in 2008, this same face stood up and told the people that the International Criminal Court was fake. I did not go wrong, neither have I regretted why I did so. I did so for the sake of Africa. And I did so for the sake of this country called Kenya. 11 years or 12 years later, I have been vindicated. It has been found out that ICC was a fake organization. Fake evidence. Fake collection of witnesses. Their purpose was to injure the two younger men who have now become, one the president and the other one the deputy of this country. I bring this background because since I posted this poster this morning, I have received quite a lot of people trying to tell me don't do it. Some of them are the same people who told me don't do it in 2008. Friends of mine have disagreed with them. That for me, when I follow something, I will get it the right and the truth will come out. The IEBC of Kenya is fake. There are people in the IEBC, and I want to sound a caution to Kenyans, those watching me, that if you want to do anything, and Your Excellency President, Deputy President, and any other person who is interested for this nation called Kenya, sort out the mess in the Independent Boundaries Commission of IEBC. It is not, and it has never, it will not be independent either today, tomorrow, and another day. It will bring you bloodshed on the streets of Mombasa, Nairobi, Kisumu, Bungoma, Lodwar, Kisii, Moyale, and other places. I have been to this planet and on this planet for 65 years. I'm not speaking because I want money. My children will give me, contribute if I'm really broke. I've got a battalion, more or less. They will come to my rescue. I've put them, given them enough education, the best education that they deserve, that they will give me. I'm speaking because I want to save a situation in this country. Since the BBI, or since the handshake, lots of things have been worked against torpedoing the handshake and the BBI. Ever since the building of bridges recommended that the IEBC should be restructured, it has sent shockwaves to Mr. Wafula Chebukati and his other two members or corroborators, let's call them, who are on that panel. I want to tell you, I'm an investigative journalist. I'm a Commonwealth journalist. I have practiced both political science, journalism, conflict resolution. I investigate my cases. I don't go for Ocampo when I have not investigated that Ocampo brought witnesses. I have evidence, part one of today. In this broadcast, I'm delivering keynotes. And should someone come up to say, my name was mentioned, any interested party, part two, I'll deliver the videos, the transcripts, and I have 4 members of the executive of a certain party who are willing. They have given affidavits, we can proceed. That's step number 1. I want you to understand this show today, before I introduce any other guest, is to first lay the groundwork to tell you that IEBC is selling names and the signatures. If they say they are not doing it, or they have not attempted to do it, or they are not even thinking of doing it, then I will table the evidence to the world, to the DCI, to any organization to investigate, because these are crimes now being committed here. Someone wants to float another referendum to torpedo what President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta and Raila Amolo Odinga and other Kenyans are doing. I don't have to miss words. I don't want to miss words. And that person is working with 2 members or 3 members of the Independent Electoral Boundaries Commission to procure, and I'm now using a better word, procure. You know, I brought this word and the people thought that's my Ugandan English. To procure signatures. Purportedly they're saying he went back to collect them. Yesterday, what has prompted me to bring out this? This gentleman yesterday went on national television, and first I want the studio to play the clip number 1, or evidence 001, play it. That's how I lay my cases. Play that evidence of 1, the president of the Third Way Alliance. Then you hear for yourselves which has prompted us as citizens of this world and the interested parties to answer him. Production, bring it on.
If the president really wants to help Kenyans, and I've told him this before, support Punguza Mizigo Kenya constitutional amendment, because it is the only genuine process on the table right now. Anything else remains unconstitutional, directionless, amorphous, repetitive, or better still, implement for us the TJRC report, the Nungu Commission report, you know, the Waki report, the CPEV report, and all those. And I think Kenya will be fine. But for now, Kenyans want the burden on governance reduced on them. It's not about political, maneuvering as we can see it. So I challenge the president, let's do the right thing for the people of Kenya. Let's not be wishy-washy about the proposal that Kenyans need right now. Right now, we are dealing with the effects of COVID-19. Where we should be heading as a country is on how we revive this economy post-COVID-19. And the president needs to come out clearly and say, okay, this is how the economy will be reopened. These are the employment opportunities that we are going to have for the many youth in this country. This is how we will end theft of public money. This is how we will invest in the healthcare infrastructure. This is how the working class in this country can recoup. So that is the direction we should be taking Kenyans. Not political maneuvering, trying to talk about succession politics of 2022. Kenyans do not need that.
Viewers, I think you have seen that clip, evidence 1001, call it DM1. In DM1, the leader of Third Alliance Party calls upon President Uhuru Kenyatta to bring all the reports, Waki report, Dungu report, says he should not beat about the bush. But in the evidence that we have, and this is how I prosecute my cases, the same leader has been working hand in hand with one of the commissioners to purchase signatures which they had already put there and names to bring up a new bill to torpedo BBI bill. Evidence, as you can see, plenty of it here. Transcripts printed out of telephone conversations, transcripts of videos of meetings that I will display in part 2. Since February this year, the leader of Third Alliance said he will revamp, and these are his words, revamp his muziko, something called Punguza Muziko, We have evidence from the committee members how much money was paid to revamp. And those members will be able to speak for themselves. I'm just laying a case, Jamen. They will be able to speak their mind out, to discuss when they received the money, from whom they received the money, the meetings where they took place. If they say no, we produce again evidence. They have gone as far, viewers, to meet Mr. Wafula Chebukati several times, including Monday, that is this week, several meetings, plus 2 other mercenaries, political mercenaries, well known. One of them was in the ICC crusade. He's well known. He always does these things for external agencies. I will not mention him now. He will come in part 2. Another one is a land dealer, a broker. They met, they sat down, how to procure these signatures. Soon, this party is going to come out with purportedly, allegedly, signatures that they went back to revamp. But in actual sense, I'm trying to save Kenyans. I'm saving this country today. Let it go in history. That those signatures that Okura Court is coming with have been purchased, have been bought, have been with his members of the executive, 3 of them, and plus a 4th person. They will come out to tell the public. They will tell the entire public, the whole of Kenyan community, that they were in those meetings when they were purchasing those signatures. I usually, as an international activist, a man who fights battles for Africa, I have no regrets for stating exactly that Kenyans better be careful. There's something that is happening that can bring chaos to this country. That someone wants Raila Odinga, Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, handshake, never to bear fruits. That somebody wants the president to dismember this country through a regime change, sponsored, equipped, supplied logistically by foreign external darker forces that are destroying Africa from Zimbabwe, Malawi, Tanzania, Uganda, and now Kenya. I want to alert Kenyans that there is nothing that you can go in George Soros' office and pick even $10. I will know within 5 minutes that you have picked $10. What will George Bush, what will George Soros do to me? I don't need to go to America. If I need to go to America, I just climb the plane here. I don't seek where I'm going to sleep. I'm proud of being honest. It is sad, therefore, that the same people, the same organization called Open Society Foundation, which haunted William Ruto and haunted Uhuru Kenyatta, took them to The Hague. The same man of Third Alliance who almost beat me up at the airport because he saw me going to The Hague. I found him also going to another trip. He told me I'm a very dangerous man going to represent criminals. I am saddened that some of these people are being used, are even being paid money by the same people to dismember. They have forgotten the people who wanted them dead 12 years ago. I have done my best, and therefore now I want to introduce the second part of this show. I've given, as I said, phase one, I've tabled the case. Signatures are being bought. That's the case. And somebody is going to parade the signatures, either tomorrow or next week. But we want the authorities of this country to know, to find out, when did this man go for the second round signatures? Where is he getting the money from? Who is sponsoring these signatures, which have not been collected? Who has, because if the first thing collapses, you have to go back. But there is a shortcut being done. There is some fraud in the IEBC. I don't know, there is a name. Who is Joseph Mere? Mr. Joseph Mere, you are on notice. Yes, you are on notice. Is Mere? Who is Mere? I don't know. I will find out. Because Mr. Ekure Court yesterday challenged us to tell Mr. Kenyatta. So Kenyatta will speak on himself. I don't speak for Kenyatta. I speak for Africa. And one of the countries in Africa is this one. There is Mr. Mary, who is a coordinator. You are on notice. There is Mr. Boya Moru. Are you the commissioner? Stop selling the signatures. Thank you. Your conversations, your telephone conversations, you are intercepted our investigative journalists. We have gathered the intel. If you say you did not do, we shall parade them for Kenyans in phase 2 to know exactly who you are, what you do in this commission. Kenyans have suffered enough because of the violence that comes out from elections. Mr. President, don't hold elections in this country before you sort out Chebukati and a group. There is something fishy which even the DCI can find out. There's no need of getting scared, because the telephone transcripts, the videos, the meetings, the talks, 3 members of the executive have written affidavits. So let's go. I did not go there. I did not look for him. I was not there when I was given, 20 million was being given 2 weeks ago. I was not there when 100 million was given. You will tell the others, not me. Me, I've brought as a journalist. These are things the public needs to know. Who is fronting the Third Way Alliance to create chaos in this country? I therefore now want to open the debate for discussion. My panel consists of Major Retired Bijiwe, a security expert, an analyst, a man who hits from the joint itself, who does not hide like me. Because some of the security analysts, when you bring them, they will hide. For us, we have now the evidence that it is upon anyone, any signatures that you see today, tomorrow, or Monday, or next month, Mzee Raila Odinga and Mzee Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, those signatures are fake. They have been bought, and that is the scheme. Me, I've brought it out. I'm not a Kenyan. I want Kenya. I wish you well. I want you to be peaceful. I don't want you to have any skirmishes again. I brought it out. I have no regrets for doing so. And therefore, I bring in Major, retired Bijiwe. Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Dr. Matsanga. It's such an honor to be here today. Indeed, there's a massive leak. It's a massive intel leak, and it exposes the underbelly of these so-called activists, you know, the leader of that way alliance, to have been masquerading around and behaving as though you would master the signatures that would be needed to cause a constitutional, reform, a constitutional change, even when he knew that for sure he's twisting Kenyans. But as we say, nothing can be hidden for so long. And I'm disappointed that this gentleman made a lot of noise around the country. He's even, stood up against the president, against against our beloved country, even when he knew for sure he was working with forces. If he's been funded by George Soros, we know this is the same man who has caused problem. This George Soros has caused problem from USA. Now he's accused of funding the demonstrations that are going on in the United States. He's caused trouble in Israel. You saw the standoff that was in Israeli political arena recently. George Soros was behind it all. He's been accused in Austria. They printed the poster of one of the presidential candidates with George Soros poster on the side saying, these are the two people running to run Austria. This gentleman is evil. He's Jewish. I've never seen a Jewish man who's so wicked like George Soros. And he's all over the world trying to cause problems. And if he thinks he can now put Kenya in his pocket, well, we're here. And there's a massive intel leak. And Dr. Matsanga, can't wait for the day you release those documents. We're gonna release them. And people know when we say we have transcripts, we mean we heard what you said. When
yes.
people
They're here with me.
Yeah, I saw them.
And I've given them copies to safe custody.
I know where I met with them. I know where I met those documents today at 5 in the morning when I had the call. I know where the documents are.
I have evidence that indicates that a meeting took place on Monday in Lavington. People present in the meeting include the men who paid the 20 million to purchase these new signatures. I have several conversations, well-detailed conversation of coming to collect. Okay? It is, Mr. Bijiwe, it is a very serious matter that the people want to crash BBI. If I'm wrong, Kenyans or Raila Odinga, listen to me. You have fought battles for this country. Mr. Prime Minister, former Prime Minister, Mr. President Uhuru Kenyatta, I'm 65 years old. I'm not seeking anything from you. Just because I am the one who said redemption strategy. But if redemption strategy is going to be destroyed by the Electoral Commission, you better move very fast. I told you, and I've told the Kenyans, Maraga is not fit to be a Chief Justice. That's another day. Whether Maraga meets me tomorrow, I have even more incriminating evidence, which I can put forward, but I was restrained. And I kept quiet. You remember? I kept quiet. I pulled back Because for me, when I go for real. That accident in Nakuru, I would have brought so many interesting stories. But I was told to keep quiet. I have kept quiet. Now, this one, the most devastating issue is they want to derail BBI. They want to render it useless because BBI recommended the sacking of Chebukati and other commissioners. So they have been buying signatures, fresh. They will present them maybe tomorrow or another day. If you look, if you see those signatures, if Kenyans, you listen to me, those are signatures where we are going to have a problem. And if they say they have never met, because I'm not going to give my arrows bullets. I'm a general. I'm not going to put the bullets, finish them today. I'm keeping them. Long night of daggers is tonight. They want to rub out their telephone conversation. I did not tell you to converse. Thank you. You did a great job.
Yes.
A great job is very simple. You are Kenyan. You have only worked with George Soros since you were born. Is there anywhere you have worked? I don't want to go. My lawyers told me not to go into personality. Let's go for the jugular later on. Akombe. There is a woman called Akombe. Telephone conversations. 126 telephone conversations between Madame Akombe, who wants to overthrow the government of the Republic of Kenya, with the same people. What does Akombe want? She's near George Soros. She's the coordinator of the project. Akombe, thank you. Those telephone conversations, we have them. But return the money you took when you flew out in Dubai and you never came back. Kenya needs that money. It can buy some food for people in Karioko or Kibura. We need that allowance you took. You have a case to answer in Kenya for taking an allowance and never returning an allowance as an officer on duty. You can hide in New York and make telephone calls to pull another insecurity in this country. But for me, David, I fight such battles. One day, tutakutana. Yes, you are an internationalist, I am also an internationalist. You touch Uhuru Kenyatta, I touch you. You touch this younger man, I touch you. That's why I've removed the coat today. And I'm in a tie to show you that I'm able to also lead internationally. Where is Somalia? Where is Somalia now with their case? Where is it? Let them bring it. Next year, they will have to come to AU. We don't want to solve our problems that side. We want to solve them here as Africans. I have given this evidence, this video today to show you under the directive of my lawyers. Don't surrender the transcript. So it is tactical. I'm a commander. Technically, I've held. Let people say there is nothing. Matanga is lying. Then I bring. That's how I finish your camp. And for two Besuda.
You see, Dr. Matanga, just to interject, when I posted this post on my Facebook wall, one of my close friends, very respected security consultant, termed it as propaganda. He said, "You guys should stop propaganda." But maybe he's watching for interest's sake. I wanted to know that we are quite quite sure what you're talking about, and it's just a matter of time before so much of what
does he know about propaganda?
And let me come.
What security has he learned in this world?
Let me come also to this point, Dr. Matsanga. The gentleman who has been leading the effort to amend the constitution, by getting the signatures, the leader of that alliance, whom you say our lawyers said we should, know how much to say and what not to say. That same gentleman was in the committee of experts that wrote this constitution that he wants to amend.
Yes.
And what my question is, what new thing has he found to put in the constitution that he did not have when he had a bunch of activists who locked everyone out of the process? They were funded by America and by the ambassador, one gentleman who had a lot of challenges with the government at the time. They locked out the opinions of everyone. We could not even amend textual errors on that constitution, Dr. Matsanga. There's a place in one of the schedules where the numbers are even skipped. I think it's number 21, then it skips 22 and goes to 23. We could not even amend that textual error. If there was a word misspelled, we could not even amend it. This gentleman locked Kenya and Kenyans out of improving their constitution. So what has happened to him today that he can justify a process of amending our constitution? He even says now he has the signatures when we know for sure he bought all of them and he wants to buy another set of signatures. I say it's so embarrassing, and this Intel leak could not have come at a better time than this, sir.
I have said, and I call upon Stephen Ogora Council. I call upon my own council that I have put this forward. I'm not a Kenyan, but I'm a man who wants peace. I want to tell the truth that for your information, comrade.
Yes, comrade.
Let me just read for you one of the small transcript. In a meeting that took place on Monday, attended by two mercenaries. One used to write to forge ICC documents.
We know him.
Well known. And another one, a land broker. They had prepared to go and meet this commissioner. Just listen and you will laugh. To know that these are the leaders. You see my purpose of bringing this out. Are these the leaders who want to lead this country? President Uhuru Kenyatta is saying, help him to unite the nation. The man wants to paralyze the BBI. And you guess what? The person they are using called them conmen. That person said, go ahead. Bijue, you have switched off your phone. Yes. That person said, go ahead and expose them. Because 3 members of your committee cannot lie. How you went to meet Mr. Buyo, Mary. These are people. Kenya, what is wrong with you? No wonder they drive these big cars out of corruption. They buy houses for concubines. When Kenyans are sleeping hungry. Let Okuro court say what? I'm sparing him tonight. But in the second phase, say what? That you do not hold those meetings. Then we come. You're a lawyer, litigation is open. I'm doing it for the sake of this country. But any signature coming out tomorrow is through the IEBC, they should reject. Kenyans should reject. Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta, police. That is the time you catch Mr. Chemkati now. They are about to present this. Sindio wamenunua.
You know, Dr. Matanga, the law requires that for that process to start, they need to have signatures from registered voters.
Yes.
So what they are trying to do is take a shortcut to the right.
So let's clap for ourselves.
I know. I hope so. No,
we have told the Kenyans.
I hope Kenyans are listening, and I hope Kenyans realize.
Keep this step. Keep this video, so that tomorrow, if a court goes to present signatures anywhere, arrest him.
Actually, now the job
There's enough evidence now.
The job is cut for Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission. The job is cut for Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. And the job is cut for the Directorate of Criminal Investigations. They have a criminal masquerading as a constitutional reformist. He is going to be having forged signatures. There is no difference between what Dadwe is about to do right now with a forged check. Someone walking to a bank with a check whose signatures was forged. That's exactly what the gentleman is doing. And if anti-banking fraud pounce on everyone who carries a forged check or a check with a forged signature, they should be getting their paws ready to pounce on this gentleman who's going to be masquerading and walking around with a procedure and a process that he knows truly he has corrupted, he has purchased, he has used forgery and cheating to acquire those signatures. And Kenyans should be ready to reject that process. Actually, I hope we don't even waste the time of Kenyans, even going to the counties to make our county assemblies sit down and discuss, vanity, because this is vanity, this is lies, this is deception. This is deception of the highest order. This is political engineering and machination of the highest order and manipulation. And Kenya should not allow this to go on. And I hope my brother Kinoti DCI can step into this, together with the other offices that are complementing him, the ODP, Office of the Directorate of Public Prosecutions, and even anti-corruption. And we need to charge this gentleman of corruption and deception.
Thank you very much. I have just received a very good from one of the people, 2 people on the committee have just said, you have done very well. You have done so well to bring this issue out. They have been on the executive committee of Third Alliance. 2 of them have just said they have all the Matanga. Thank you very much, Dr. Matanga, for bringing this issue out. This issue has pained so many people. But because of the threats, we have not been able to bring it out. Thank you. God give you more time, more life on us to expose just as you did. Thank you very much. You know, there you are. I have brought the debate. Raila Odinga, Uhuru Kenyatta, Muchunge. That's it. I have a place where to sleep if I can sleep. In here, Zimbabwe, everywhere. People want me to sleep there. Tanzania, they want me to sleep. I can't sleep there. I have been on this earth more than some people. I have seen I have seen 10 coups. I masterminded some myself of removing Rule, Yusuf Rule, myself, Museveni, Oito Jok. We removed him 60, 80 days. Go and look at the Yusuf Rule picture. You will see this man here with this bad head. Therefore, if you see some people like this, Mr. Okuroko, coming in to lie to Kenyans, when 4 members of his executive have actually, they are willing to go to court anywhere to say we will, even to apologize to Kenyans, we lied. So Kenyans, Mr. Mijiwe, you are Kenyan. You are from Meru.
Yes.
The Meru people speak like us. I'm a Mugishu who speaks like a Meru people. We don't hide.
Yes.
That's why I like Kiraitu. That's why I like Munya. We speak it out. I don't like this other senator because he goes for money. I don't. Your senator is money-minded. You don't quarrel with a wife in the public. Quarrel with the wife behind the scenes.
No, a man who fights with his wife in public in our tribe has lost his respect. So leave us alone.
Let's narrow down. We now have pointers, only pointers for phase 1. And the viewers, I want to tell you, this is phase 1. Phase 2, which could be any time now. This is a night of long daggers.
Long knives, I agree. And
it could be delivered tomorrow. The prince, the real prince.
I should also say this, Dr. Matanga. I mean,
go ahead. You are on the panel.
I'm a respected security consultant, and people know I would never stand here and speak publicly in a public platform on intelligence leaks. That is not true. I have come from the military. I know a lot about military intelligence, national intelligence. I am doing a master's program on national intelligence. So I know when we sit here and discuss this thing, I even dare the people that are tasked with such responsibilities, the National Intelligence Service, NIS, to pick interest with this. If none of them calls me today or even comes by my office to pick this evidence from me, I'll be very surprised. And by the way, National Intelligence Service should be on the front line of this, because where this is going,
they should check this, because
they should check this out. This is we are working in treason.
I don't work for
treason.
I want to tell you, they better now quickly check on all this. This should be sub. I have no regrets. I can sub anybody who wants the signatures, the transcripts, who can check with Safaricom, can check. These guys have been sorting. They want to sort Kenya. They want to destroy Kenya. They want to kill Kenya again.
Dr. Matanga, let me tell you, unfortunately, when I looked at the list of all those people who were in that meeting, I didn't see any of them that has any military, police, or discipline forces training. And I'll tell you something, Dr. Matanga, you being a former military commander, you know this. Anytime you sit down to discuss your country and put it in the same line with sell my country, you are walking down the road to treason. Committee, Hangman Noose is doing like this to you. Hangman Noose is beckoning you like this. You're about to hang. But these activists, especially one of those who was married in one house and now has been married in the other house, who was in that meeting and he wants to trade like he can sell this country. I want to warn that young man. His erratic nature and character is leading him closer to Hangman Noose. He doesn't know when he is trending on ground to sell his country. And he is walking down a very dangerous road. And I know in phase 2 or phase 3, we're gonna reveal this. We will even put the names public so that these people can tell this country why they want to sell this country on the pedestal of political competition. That's not how politics is done. Let's do politics, but let's protect our country. We cannot sell the country in the name or in the pretext of political competition. That's not political competition. That is treason.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Major retired Mejiwe. We now, there is somebody who has been listening to our comments. She wants to bring in comments. Give us appetite for phase 2 of our revelations, which will be coming anytime. But meanwhile, I will summarize by saying, if the Kenya government sees any signatures paraded by a Kuru a court, please, DCI, Mr. Kinoti, jump in. You have the evidence now. We are sending it. My lawyers will send it to you. Jump in and let's ashame people. You know, Corona is disturbing people. Then you want to disturb a nation. What type of people are these who want money? And then, you know, in the conversation, in these transcripts, they talk about Murkomen has come, he's come, he has seen this. Oh my God, it is very interesting. Very interesting. You know, so thank you very much. Let's now look, Miriam, summary.
I think you've done quite a good summary. Good afternoon to you, retired Major Bijiwe there, and Doctor. I think you guys have summarized, you know, a lot of these things. But I think the big question today that I heard, you know, come up during this discussion was, did IEBC sell voters' names to Third Way Alliance Party? And Doctor, remember, Third Way Alliance Party in February announced that it was set to launch a revamped Punguza Mzigo constitutional amendment bill months after a similar initiative failed to win the approval of county assemblies as required in the law, and only 2 counties were able to approve the bill. But also, after even that, there is a Kenyan who went in court to challenge, and this Kenyan was called Timothy Odhiambo, and he challenged the move in court, where an order restraining county assemblies from considering the bill was issued following an application by a petitioner. And Timothy Odhiambo has argued that Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission failed to authenticate signatures of voters supporting the referendum. So, Doctor, whatever you're bringing up, there's another Kenyan who also had gone to court to challenge the same and ask, how can IEBC has not authenticated these signatures that have been presented by by Third Way Alliance for the Punguza Mzigo bill? So this is something that has even been taken to court.
Yes, thank you very much, Mr. Mbijiwe. I think you can hear for yourself. It's not only me. That Kenyan went to court, but because the IEBC and some lawyers, they connived, they threw out Mr. Odhiambo. But Mr. Odhiambo had a point. Now, in February, they said they will revamp the new. Now they can't revamp because Corona has cut them short. They went to Mr. Buru. Well, this commissioner is called one of the commissioners who lives somewhere in Nakuru. There's one there.
And when while you're still looking for that commissioner, now this Timothy Odhiambo, this Kenyan nationality here, who went to court to challenge the Electoral and Boundaries Commission, who he said had failed to authenticate signatures of voters supporting the referendum bid. He said that he accused the IEBC of contravening Article 257 of the Constitution by failing to authenticate the signatures registered voters who supported the initiative. So he went to challenge that, but also, yeah, so it's interesting because these are questions. People wondered how comes Mr. Ekuru or court was able to get these signatures very fast and present them to the IEBC, and they were able to be approved, you know, so that raised a lot of questions.
We got the name now, Miriam. The name of the commissioner is Mr. Boya Moru, together with one of the electoral coordinators, Mr. Joseph Mere, and with the knowledge of Mr. Chepkat.
You know, Dr. Matanga.
You seen this? Here, this is it. with the knowledge of Mr. Chebukati, they have already, Mr. President, put your security on alert. If you see any signature by Third Alliance, they did not go anywhere. They revamped through the Electoral Commission. If the first signatures failed, Senor, you go for the second signature.
Mm-hmm. Yes. You don't use the same signature.
Yeah. So, Mr.
Bush, you must restart the process.
Mr. M-O-U, M-O-L-U, and Mr. M-E-L, Mere. Those are the people, coordinators of Mr. Ekuro Ekot on the commission.
And is it
video photographs in the commission itself? The CCTV could indicate. It is a very good drama. It indicates these discussions. It indicates the hotels, the meetings, everything is there.
And also remember, and one of our viewers here is reminding us, remember some top officials there in the Third Way Alliance had gone to court they took Ekuro court to court seeking to suspend his Punguza Mzigo initiative and demanding to know the source of the funding because they did not know. Remember that was in court just a few months ago.
Bring the funding because I had kept quiet. Bring the funding. You know, Mr. Ekuro Court has never worked anywhere. He has never won a case. He has never, wait. He has never won a case between a cat and a rat.
Actually, now let's a bit.
But where does he get the money to buy all these properties?
I know, Dr. Matanga, I know soon you'll start telling us to give you our final comments. Before you get us to that corner, let me make it straight that the process that this gentleman is involved in is very expensive. It costs a lot of money, that process. It costs a lot of financial resources. Where is he getting that money to do constitutional changes, process one, or stage one? It flops, and he has enough money to do it a second time. It is amazing.
Oh, Miriam, Mr. Bijiwe, Major retired in Bijiwe.
I'm here.
I want to submit to the Kenyan people that I've struggled all along to make a better Kenya. Kenya is not my country. It's your country. But as an investigative journalist, you can practice it anywhere in the world. I'm a journalist with the Commonwealth Journalists Association, a senior partner. 10 Downing Street does not stop me from entering the Prime Minister's office because I'm a journalist with a Commonwealth card. Perhaps some people think that I don't have a Commonwealth card. This is my card. I work as an investigative journalist. I practice journalism. I worked with Sky News. I follow stories of this nature. That's why I blew out OTP4, James Maina Kabutu. You're a liar like this man here. You better be careful, you Kenyans. It is up to you and up to you. You two of you, Miriam and Bijiwe, you are Kenyans. There's something wrong. And for me, I invite Miriam, before I invite Miriam to make closing remarks, I give you 1.5 minutes to summarize.
What I'll say, Dr. Matanga, on this interleak, this is massive. Kenyans prepare for, it's gonna get massive, it's gonna get messy. But I also appreciate the fact that it has come at a good time when our president is in a good mood. My president has never been in a better mood than he's in today. Today, this season. He's firing not blanks. He's firing left, right, and center. He has all his guns blazing. And, you saw what he did in the Senate, what is going on in the parliament, in the National Assembly. I hope the purging goes on, and this interleak has come at a good time. We're gonna put this on his table with Dr. Matanga, and we will lure his gun to fire on that direction. And this is gonna get messy before it gets better. So this is awesome. Thank you, Dr. Matanga, for being a Pan-Africanist, a lover of Kenya, and I assure you my support. And don't worry about your security. I'm gonna be calling some people to watch over your back. You're fine. You're taken care of, sir. Do it for Kenya and for Africa. Thank you very much.
God helps me. God always guides me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. But on this one, God even knows when you are speaking the truth. People are buying signatures to present a fake referendum bill. Surely we can't keep quiet. Miriam, summarize.
All right.
And send us home.
I'll just summarize from what I've gathered from the conversation that you've been having since about an hour ago. And I think there are very pertinent questions that we're asking, because even not just you, even the party, part of the party leadership in Third Way Alliance have been questioning, because they're not the leadership of Third Way Alliance, they don't know where the funding of that, the monies that come in to fund the activities, especially that Punguza Mzigo initiative. They are not aware. They don't know where the funding came from. So that begs the question: this Third Way, this Punguza Mzigo, who was behind it? Who was funding it? What was the intention of this? And I remember that time also it came after the BBI and the handshake, and during that time the BBI team was going around the country getting opinion from Kenyans on how to move this country forward after that a handshake. So the Punguza Mzigo initiative came in looking like it's competing with the BBI, and even after it was defeated, now in February we see there Ekuru Okot came out to say he's revamping that to relaunch a revamped Punguza Mzigo constitutional amendment, and a number of issues there that he said he wants to be included in that bill, including a 7-year term for the presidency of this country. So a lot is going on there. But I think the big question is who is funding the Punguza Mzigo initiative, and also, is it just a coincidence? Because the president the other day, when he was speaking during Madaraka Day, and also we know the process of the BBI, there's a referendum is imminent, and that is an open secret right now. We know that that is what the heart of the president is, and the opposition leader, because a few changes they want to make in the Kenyan constitution to ensure that we have a more inclusive constitution that may solve some of these problems that come up that are around our elections every 5 years. So is it a coincidence that the president is seeking to have a referendum in the near future, and also now Punguza Mzigo has been revamped? So it's like a competition there, and who is pushing for this? Who is pushing for this distraction, and who is pushing for this alternative way that is competing with the referendum that President Uhuru Kenyatta is seeking to have? So I think the bigger question here is who is behind all these activities by the Punguza Mzigo initiative that is led by the Third Way Alliance, and I think that is what I've gotten from that conversation you're having. So as you said, these are questions that some Kenyans are asking, a huge section of Kenyans are asking, and a lot of things I think you raised there that might need the DCI to get on it and start investigating some of these matters that you have raised throughout this conversation.
Thank you very much, all of you. Thank you very much, Major Retired Bijiwe. Thank you very much, Miriam. Thank you very much. This is phase 1. As we promised you, this is a long night of long nights. Tigers, sleep well. Maybe tomorrow very early in the morning, by 9 o'clock, we shall bring the videos. Then we leave it to the president and the country to decide whether they want to deal with such people or they don't. If I were Chepkat, I would just resign and go home. That's all my last statement. Phase 1 ends here. We wait for phase 2. Aruta continue, the struggle continues. Thank you.
Peace must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.